Hi everybody, it's Mark from MT.TrainRestorations again. It's been a few weeks, maybe a month before since I've had a video out to everybody. So just wanted to let you know what I've been doing. Got a few projects, got several projects actually on the table and on the track that's coming up. I'm going to share with you folks. If you see behind me, this is my test area. And everything I get in, I usually run it here to see what's wrong with it, if anything, and then we go from there. We get parts or whatever I need to do to get it going. So with that, I have a couple small switchers. I got the Army switcher, number 41, kind of cool. I like these. And I have the Navy switcher, the number 51. Very similar body style, only a couple variations. Needs a little work. This one's a real growler, if you know what I mean. It makes a lot more noise than the size of the engine. So we're going to try and get rid of some of that noise. We're going to take it apart, take the armatures out, check the gears, see what's going on. I think a worm gear may be dry. We're hoping that kind of thing happens here. So these are going to be part of the projects. Actually, we have a 233 smoker that came in, and we tweaked it a little bit, and boy does it smoke. We'll show you a little bit of that right now. While that's going around smoking, and it does smoke very well. Smoke comes out of everywhere. As you can see, that's not an issue. We got that one smoking very well. Actually, it's a little overwhelming in here. We also have a 259 on the track. It's a very durable, reliable engine, and it's pulling quite a load. Let's see how it does. Does very well. Pulls a lot of stuff. Still got a lot of pulling power to go. We want to take a look at a couple things on a number 51. It's a Navy Yard, New York switcher. I mentioned to it in my last video that we have a growler. Makes a lot of noise. I'll let you hear that, and then you'll probably see why I want to do something about it. Put a little power to it and see what it does. You can see at a low speed it kind of makes a lot of whining noise. Doesn't do bad in reverse. But it does make a lot of noise. We're going to see what the Army switcher does, the number 41. And it's not so bad. It's not as bad as that one, that's for sure. This one runs pretty good. I got to admit, it was a little bit noisier when I first got it, but I did take it apart and do some lubrication to it, and it helped tremendously. Yeah, it seems to have pretty good speed. They're only meant, or actually in real life, to go about 10 to 12 miles an hour in the yard, because all they do is just kind of shuffle around all day, and they move train cars around. That's what they were built for originally and designed to do. And so Lionel tried to replicate that with the actual model train. And so they do not go fast. They're not going to be racing around the track like most engines. They're geared low enough to where they'll go up to a certain speed, and that's kind of it. They're meant to pull. They're not meant to race. But with that, in turn, comes a lot of noise sometimes with the gear. So we're going to take this little blue one apart and see what we can find out. So give me a minute, and we'll get the bench all set up to go, then we'll be right back. Thanks a lot. Okay, here we are back to the bench. Take a look at this Navy Yard switcher and see what we see inside. I mean, I got this thing maybe a month or so ago, maybe longer, I'm not sure. And the seller actually made note of it on his site that this is not a growler, because these have a tendency to growl, and for him to make note of that as not a growler, it means, it goes to show you how many people have had these and know what I'm talking about. So you know, it's very simple. It's got a cluster of gears down below. It's got 2 contactors. This is a similar truck assembly that are on some of the diesel engines and other engines that Lionel makes, but they scaled it down a little bit. It has smaller wheels, but it has the same armature, brush plate, field coil as most of the other worm drive engines that they make. So let's see what goes on down under here. I'll take this off and see what the brushes and armature look like. We'll pull that out, expose the worm gear, and see what we find. See if we can sweeten this up a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna lose this down in there. So we got a couple brushes. Got the screw still on there. Let's see if we can get that. It'll stay. Okay. So, okay. So, simple armature. It's a little dirty. We can clean the commutators. And the gear, worm gear looks okay. We're going to clean it up a little bit though. How about that? Get my favorite little utensils out here, my Q-tips and my alcohol. Uh-oh. Don't let the marketing person see me wasting alcohol. So we're going to clean this all off. We'll get all this cleaned off here, get some of the older grease off, get that out of there. It's not looking too bad there. This is really filthy. Let's see if we can get this stuff here cleaned up and get that back to shiny. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. We'll get some more of this off with the little bit of abrasive tool here. I think what we'll use is the my Dremel tool. I actually got a new one since my last videos. A friend of mine came by, who often does, and he felt sorry for me because my old Dremel tool was running pretty slow. It was pretty wore out. I've had it many years, and it was probably on its last legs, so he felt sorry for me and got me a new one. How do you like that? Christmas came early for me, which was great. I appreciate that and all the help. So we're gonna take a little scrub on this armature. Get this stuff off of here best we can. See if we can get them to shine up a little bit. Look at that shine. Like a new penny. So we want that all nice and cleaned up best we can. They dirty up fast with the brushes, rubbing on them all the time. So you can use whatever method you like. I've used several over the years. A couple things that work pretty good. A pencil eraser, actually. I got one here. A pencil eraser kind of does the same thing on pennies. If you rub it on here enough, look at that. Here's a couple dark spots. A pencil eraser works almost as well as my Dremel tool. It does a good job. You can see it takes the dirt off. You can use a little piece of steel wool. I try not to use anything too abrasive, or sandpaper or anything like that, or emery board. It will scratch it up, which actually probably causes more dirt because it'll act as a grading device for the soft carbon brushes. So I think the smoother they are, the better the brushes last, but that could be just me. So this is pretty nice shape. So down inside here, I'm going to clean this off too before we put the brushes back in. I'm not sure if you can see down in there very well with the light I have, but there's a lot of grease and gunk down in there, but there's not a lot on the gear down in there itself. So let's kind of dig that stuff out with my Q-tip and see if we can get to the bottom of the noise and see what the gear actually looks like. Cut this part off. Get this nasty off of there. There we go. Now I can use both ends. Get all that down in there. Clean that around. Try not to leave too much fuzz down in there. It just gets tangled up. So if you see any cotton fuzz, try to pull it out of there. The gear, looking at the gear, doing a little bit of examination. If you can see down in there, it's hard to see, I understand. But the gear, the teeth on that big gear that drives the other gears looks in pretty good shape. I don't see any bent or missing teeth. So I think what we need down in there is probably just some new and better lube. And I'm still using my trusty Lionel lubricant. This is probably as old as I am. So it's 29, 30 years old. But anyway, I'm going to shove some of this down in there where the worm drive seats. It goes back down there, and I'm going to throw a little glob right down there on the actual gear that the worm drive turns. And let me just use this blunt end to poke it down into the shaftway where the worm gear place goes down inside. And I'm going to spread this out over the drive gear. And now you really can't see much other than the grease I put down in there. So that looks like pretty good. And not to waste this stuff here, I'm going to put a little bit what's left over on these gears. So we're going to put this back in here. Now this looks like it's getting a little bit of like a waxy, dirty on the part that spins inside the fill coil. I'm going to clean some of that off. I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference because it's inside of a magnetic field. I don't think magnetic field worries too much about dirt and dust or rust, but I like stuff shiny. If I'm going to put it back or take it apart, I'm going to put it back together clean and shiny as best I can. So we're going to do that with the Dremel tool. Clean all that off as good as I can. And before we put everything back in there. All right, so that looks much better, I think, don't you? All right, so we got the commutators nice and clean. This is cleaned off. These look pretty good. I don't see any bent or mangled up teeth on there. We're going to put that back. Well, you know what? To make it a little bit easier, let's clean this off and put it all together, then we'll pop it in there. That may go a little bit quicker. Oh, we'll get rid of these dirty things here. Get myself a new one. Let's see what I got down in here. Here's the oiler hole. This is where oil and gets to the top of the armature. Keep it moving and stick it through, pull it through. Won't hurt anything. You got the spring loaded in here. You got the little brush springs that are, you pull that through. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Anything to make contact better and cleaner never hurts. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of cotton fuzz on the one spring. Oh, it's all gone. All right, so let's see, we want to put these back in. Most of these should have a little groove on top, almost like a screw tip. A flat driver screw looks like on there. That's where the brush sits in that little groove and kind of keeps those going down with pressure to the armature nice and steady. And I'm going to put this in here because it's difficult to turn this over and put it down in there with the brushes. So with the brushes in place, I'm going to feed the whole thing down in there. Hopefully, oh, there we go. Yeah, that's better. So that went rather well. Everything's back in place. Everything's sitting kind of nice. Let's see if this is still lined up. Yep. Well, how lucky was that? That went pretty well. Put this back in there. All right, so we're lubed up. Got that going. What do you say we try it? We try it before we put the body back on and see what it does. So we're going to go back to the track. So I'll be right back. I just want to get everything set up for everybody. So I will see you in a minute. All right, here we are back at the text track. And this is our Navy switcher. We just lubed up, cleaned up a little bit, and hopefully we can make it a little quieter. That would be a great thing. Let's see what we get. Oh, remember what it sounded like going forward at a low speed? I think I like that. Let's try coming back. Boy, that's much better, I think. Wow, that goes pretty good. Much better, much better. Well, we're going to put the body back on it, and we'll try it one more time. So I'll leave this right where we're at. I'm going to take and put the body on it, and we'll come back and try it all put together. How's that? So give me a minute. Hello, I'm back. I put the body onto the switcher, and we're going to give it a try here and see what happens. Much quieter. I'd say it doesn't make any more noise than the Black Army switcher makes, so I think that's a victory right there. Does have a little bit of noise coming out of the gate when you give it gas, but we'll see if we can tweak that a little bit more. But running speed, it's pretty quiet both directions. Well, that's it for that one today. Well, we're going to try another project here real soon, and I'll be back with everybody. So until then, I want everybody to have a good, safe holiday. If I don't hear from you, if you'd like to contact me with any questions or projects you'd like to see, you can email me at my email address, MT.TrainRestorations, all one word, at gmail.com. So drop me a line, let me know what you think. You can see me on YouTube, obviously. Check out the videos and let me know if you like them. That'd be great. And if you have something you want to do I can help you with, let me know. Until then, everybody have a safe and fun holiday, and I will see you pretty soon with something new to do. All right now, bye-bye.